I'm Trinidadi, and let's queer up the USA view. 6 federal prosecutors quit as DOJ targets widow of queer woman killed by ICE. 6 federal prosecutors in Minnesota have resigned after the U.S. Department of Justice demanded an investigation into Becca Good, the widow of a queer woman killed last week by an ICE agent. The DOJ is examining whether Good has criminal associations or ties to anti-government groups. The current administration has repeatedly labeled the victim Renee Good a, quote, domestic terrorist, tied to, quote, a sinister left-wing movement. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey has called that characterization, quote, bullshit. Among those who resigned is Joseph H. Thompson, the second in command at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota, along with 3 senior career prosecutors. None offered public explanations. The resignations come amid growing outrage over a video of the shooting, which shows ICE agent Jonathan Ross being barely brushed by Renee Good's car as she drove away. He then shot her 3 times, calling her a, quote, fucking bitch, and fled. DOJ Civil Rights head Harmeet-Dhillon has refused to investigate whether Ross violated federal law. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said Thompson was, quote, a principled public servant. It's also the latest sign Trump is pushing nonpartisan career professionals out of the Justice Department, replacing them with his sycophants, end quote. The FBI has now taken full control of the case, excluding state investigators, a move critics say risks bias. And it's pretty unprecedented to take that away from the state authorities that are there to investigate. So obviously something more sinister is afoot. I was trying to do some investigation on how these people who have, I think it's 6 so far, have prosecutors resigned from the Minnesota Attorney General's office, and how they would get replaced, because that's an important part. Obviously, these people are principled, which is why they want to resign. And it seems like it's such a convoluted process. I couldn't quite get an answer to how. I know the Department of Justice is involved in that. How much Pam Bondi and that federal level is involved versus the state level is kind of unclear at the moment. It seems like temporarily they just assign these cases to the other people and just increase everybody's workload until they figure this out. So I really hope that these attorneys that resign will, if it's legal for them to be able to discuss why they feel that it was unconstitutional or just immoral for what the Department of Justice is asking for them. So that's crazy that's happening. And also, when I was watching it first break, they, I think it was on Fox News, when they would describe Rebecca Good, they said, oh, this lesbian. And they kept using this word lesbian, and her wife with her pronouns got shot and killed, obviously to try to demonize her as being LGBTQ,
right.
and make, people who are conservative not care as much about that she was shot in the face and called a fucking bitch right after.
Right.
Yeah. And we've all seen the video at this point. I think today it came out that the Department of Justice now is saying that he had internal injuries, internal bleeding as a result.
Internal bleeding.
Which for a department that is saying that Donald Trump won the 2020 election and that Haitians are eating your pets, cats and dogs and ducks in your neighborhood lake. It's like, I think we've come to realize how much they would lie and how much they're willing to go to suppress this and to do unconstitutional things. So,
yeah. Jonathan Ross is a disgusting piece of human shit. I said it. Okay. And, it's sad that, that car didn't even touch him. And of course, he's got to be vulgar and call her a fucking bitch. Right. And I'm like, okay, what kind of professional person in law enforcement would say something like that? Right. That doesn't abide with, with being a responsible, powerful protector of the community. But then we have a president who tells people to fuck off, wherever he can. Today, somebody called him a pedo protector, and he literally gave him the finger and told him to fuck off. Our president of the United States. Will this be checked out correctly? Could we trust in the people that are really gonna check this? I don't know. Just the fact that the state is being excluded from the investigation doesn't mean that they're still not gonna put something together, right? Because they have asked the public to send in every single little piece of video that they have just so they can put together a case, because they want to go after this Ross guy, and I hope they do.
I tell you, if this is
This is following the same path of the George Floyd situation, and they have an explosive situation coming up if this is not resolved to the people's, justice.
Yeah.
So
Minnesotans are pissed.
yeah,
They're pissed. You don't mess with those people from Minnesota.
Right. And I thought it was going to end with, because I'm sorry, but because she was white. No, but she was a lesbian.
She's marginalized because she's gay.
She's a lesbian. And then the wife, and now they're trying to go after the wife.
Yep.
Which is even worse. They inhumanity, that this poor woman just lost her partner, her everything, and now you're going to go after her.
Yeah.
It's just that it's the cruelty of these people. It's like we are at war with our government.
Yeah.
At every step, every week is something different. Every week we have a different battle against this administration.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they don't want to give us Epstein files. Okay. Here's something else to deal with right now.
Look over here.
Look over here. Squirrel.
Yeah, that's true. And now we're going to go into Greenland. So, we're going to go into Greenland because, that's going to prevent us from, talking about the Epstein files. Next week, we'll move to another scandal. It's like weekly scandals and trying to distract, and people are not forgetting that those Epstein file has not been released.
Nope, they keep on asking for it.
So they're going to keep asking for it.
I think the only silver lining, if you can even call it that, is that every week the government becomes more corrupt. But I do feel like that our government, our politicians in Congress are starting to wake up a little bit more and starting to push back on it. And, they introduced legislation to protect Greenland from the, and more people are feeling comfortable breaking, and the public at large is getting more and more agitated against the government. So
look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, who saw that coming? I didn't see that coming.
There's more that are happening, and they're about to resign from their seats before the midterms, many of the Republicans. So we're going to flip the balance of power, hopefully very soon, and he's going to try to make it illegal, but the pushback is happening.
I sure hope so. Because accountability is just so important. Okay, this guy Jonathan Ross, that there's a GoFundMe now with about $800,000 in there, and it's going to keep on growing. So that mother effer doesn't matter. He might not go to jail. He lost his job. He's going to be sitting pretty, better than anybody at this table.
Absolutely, it's insane.
And this is the world that we're in.
Yeah.
Mind you, $1 million was raised for Good's family and her kids and her wife, and they closed it down and started sending some of the money to domestic violence organizations and other organizations as well. That's what humans do.
Right. Yeah.
What was the name of that kid in that protest, barely legal age, that shot Rittenhouse?
Yes.
And they raised a lot of money, and now,
Have you heard from him?
Have you ever
He's
heard
chilling.
From him? Yeah, he's chilling. With
he's in Belize, chilling.
With a lot of money.
Chilling.
And because these people, and the fact that she's a lesbian, it doesn't stop people, it encourage people to give money to fight this.
Yep.
Is the pure homophobia, pure misogyny, pure cruelty. It's just cruelty. The fact that we have a government that immediately can come out, Kristi Noem and Donald Trump immediately call her a domestic terrorist without any proof, any chance for defense, anything. Before seeing anything. They came right after her.
Yep.
Right after her with no. They
hadn't seen anything.
I don't think anybody believes that, and the people who are just towing that line, they don't believe it either. They're just going along with it.
They just have to because they're kissing the ring.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we'll have a lot more with this story moving forward on Queer News Tonight for sure. And there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.